Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
After we did our little video about Fox Chapel Middle School, I decided just to go ahead and look and see what other kind of things I could find about the other schools in our county. And holy crap.
Holy crap.
All of the crap that you're just getting ready to see, I found in about an hour and a half last night. So these sexual incidences, I don't know what you want to call them. Assaults, teachers being rude, snatching a child by her hair. Oh my God, y'all. These things have been going on for years. And I also want to bring up that when Moton had all of their teachers fired, it was probably because of these problems that you're getting ready to see on these news clips. This video is a little bit long, but it's worth this read. It really is.
Absolutely. We've uncovered a lot of articles that go over a span of years in which bullying has been a major issue.
Teachers sexualizing the children and actually having sex in Fox Chapel Middle School 8 times.
Yes. I mean, these are things that have been happening through the years. The same school board's been sitting up there and nothing's been
rotating
done.
around and around, spinning their wheels.
Exactly. And so rather than addressing other issues that we're bringing up, that Wendy and I, our opinions and views on the CRT and the sexualization, these it just one thing leads right into the other. And now you see why it is such a problem having CRT and sexualization of children in school, because this is the end result and it's only going to get worse.
And the bigger problem is the socialist people that are in charge. And I'm going to call it right out. Socialist Susan Duvall. I don't care. I'm getting tired of it.
Why?
Back when this happened, when all the teachers got fired in Moton, that's when Susan Duvall was having a lot of troubles that we've already brought out. Okay, so what happened? The school union went in there and, went off about all this crap and got all the teachers back their job. They fixed it. And her little problem went away. There was a lot of other things going on in this time as well, as you'll see. So I don't want to take up a lot of time because this is a little bit long, but y'all need to see this.
It's well worth it, because believe me when we tell you, it is time for a change. If we don't do it now, who's to say we'll have another
Socialist,
chance?
Marxist indoctrination of our children, the over-sexualization. If you people don't think that sexual books is influencing this, I don't know what to tell you. You got a 34-year-old man that had sex 8 times with an 8th grader in Fox Chapel Middle School. I'm absolutely disgusted.
What's wrong with that picture? You tell me.
Okay, watch the video.
Watch the video.
Hi, I'm Jason Campbell reporting for PRB News. When parents send their children to school, they expect certain things in return for their public school tax dollars. They expect their children to be safe, they expect them to be educated in the truth, and they expect their students' rights as American citizens to be honored. Well, at many American public schools, that's not happening. One high school student has learned that sad lesson firsthand. At Springstead High School in Spring Hill, Florida, 16-year-old junior Heather Lawrence is in a battle against more than just political correctness run amok. She is now being attacked by school officials, as well as the founder of the Tampa chapter of a radical Islamic group, all because she stood up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
By disrespecting our flag, it's like disrespecting our country. And, I believe that this country is the best country in the world.
The incident that created this firestorm occurred on August 26, 2009. Heather was passing a classroom that morning carrying her homeroom attendance record to the school office when she noticed a female Muslim student who was not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. The girl was wearing the female Muslim head covering called a hijab. Heather was offended by the lack of respect for the flag.
I noticed, a couple students that were like looking weird, and when I looked into what they were looking at, there was like this Muslim girl with a hijab on, and she wasn't standing for the pledge, and she didn't stand for the moment of silence. And then I went to class, and I had actually heard about that the day before, from some of my friends in ROTC. And so, I went to class after I saw her, and I saw her later in the hallway, and I told her, take that thing off your head and act like you're proud to be an American. For her to come here and not even have the decency to stand up, that's not only a disgrace to, our flag, our country, and herself, but that's also, disgracing me, because that's, what I stand for. That is a big principle on the way that I live my life, is for this country. She didn't stand for the pledge, and I find that disrespectful. That's the only person at my school, to my knowledge, that does not stand for the pledge or the moment of silence. And that's just disrespectful. Second period, I got called down to Mr. Cragnelli's office. He actually walked to the classroom to escort me back to his office. He told me that I was going to be suspended for 5 days because I said that. And then he didn't really want to give me a chance to explain my side. He's like, well, you said it to a Muslim student and it was a derogatory comment. And I said, well, I would have said it to anybody. If I would have said it to a white student who was Christian, would we still be in this situation? And he said, oh, well, that's a different story.
A teacher overheard Heather's comments and sent her to the school office. Heather received a 5-day suspension over the incident. She apologized for offending the Muslim student, but she would not sign the suspension notice, nor would her parents sign, because Heather said it contained lies.
I refused to sign the discipline because it said things that were totally not true. Now the school is trying to say that I lied and that I never left my classroom at all during homeroom, any of the days we were in homeroom. And I've left my classroom every single day since we were in homeroom. Then they try to say, oh, okay, well, we didn't say the Pledge of Allegiance, so maybe she left her class, but we didn't say the Pledge of Allegiance or take attendance on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. We did say the pledge every day, as do we. There would be no reason for us not to say the pledge. I'm not going to sign something I didn't say. I told her, take that thing off your head and act like you're proud to be an American.
A member of the junior ROTC, with plans to join the Army after she graduates, Heather has already served her 5-day suspension for what the school called bullying and harassment. The principal at Heather's school accused Heather of lying about the incident. Why is Susan Duvall, Heather's principal, now calling Heather a liar? Why has the principal's story changed? And why, if the principal is telling the truth, wasn't Heather ever suspended for lying about the incident?
Trying to figure out what led a 12-year-old boy to commit suicide. As we first told you last night, in Hernando County are still trying to figure out what led a 12-year-old boy to commit suicide. As we first told you last night at 11, Miguel Rodriguez was found dead at his Spring Hill home on Wednesday. The sheriff's office says he appeared to hang himself. Our Eric Waxler is live at the boy's school, where his mother believes he was a victim of bullying. Eric?
Hey, good evening. Here at West Hernando Middle School, they were actually on a modified lockdown today because of some false internet rumors related to Miguel's suicide. Now, meanwhile, investigators are trying to figure out what exactly happened here. They're talking to staff and students, hoping to see what role, if any, bullying played in this young boy taking his own life.
Authorities in Hernando County are still trying to figure out what led a 12-year-old boy to commit suicide. As we first told you last night at 11, Miguel Rodriguez was found dead at his Spring Hill home on Wednesday. The sheriff's office says he appeared to hang himself. Our Eric Waxler is live at the boy's school, where his mother believes he was a victim of bullying. Eric?
Hey, good evening. Here at West Hernando Middle School, they were actually on a modified lockdown today because of some false internet rumors related to Miguel's suicide. Now, meanwhile, investigators are trying to figure out what exactly happened here. They're talking to staff and students, hoping to see what role, if any, bullying played in this young boy taking his own life.
It's just sad that, kids they get so low that they just can't talk about it.
Tracy Logan says she cried when she found out one of her son's classmates at West Hernando Middle School appeared to have committed suicide. Her son told her he never saw Miguel Rodriguez get bullied.
If he did know that Miguel was going through this, because he's been through it himself, that he would have stepped right in and did anything he could.
There wasn't a day he didn't hug me. There wasn't a day he wouldn't kiss me. There wasn't a day that he wouldn't tell me, Mommy, I love you.
Miguel's devastated mother says her son was bullied ever since he started middle school. Jeanette McCann says other students targeted him because of his size.
The kids would just pick on him because he was so short and smack him around in the bus. And, you know, he wasn't a fighter.
McCann says about a year ago she reported to school counselors her son was depressed because of the constant attacks that went beyond teasing.
All they told me was, oh, those are things kids go through.
But today, Hernando Superintendent Brian Blavitt told us school officials looked at the child's record and found no evidence of any problems.
There's nothing out of the ordinary there, and there certainly wasn't any documented bullying reports.
Back at Miguel's home, his mother takes comfort in the flowers and cards that surround her, wondering what she could have done differently.
I tried to give him a little space, but I was always overprotective because I knew he needed me.
This school is actually the only one in the county that's involved in what's called Rachel's Challenge. It's an anti-bullying program named after the first person killed at the Columbine killings, the Columbine shootings that happened back in the 90s. Now, Miguel's mother says that the sheriff's office took away her son's computer and cell phone looking for clues. Again, she does not know that bullying was the catalyst in her son's suicide. That is an answer that sadly we might never get. Live in Brooksville, Eric Waxler, ABC Action News.
A disturbing sex case in Hernando County. The bravery of a child putting a stop to a football coach's alleged sexual encounters with a young girl. The coach is now locked up after confessing to having sex with a student in his classroom.
And new here tonight, a home break-in, stolen guns, even a shot fired, all being linked to 4 eighth graders. Deputies say a Brooksville homeowner reported 2 guns stolen from his home. Investigators found a fired round in a mattress inside that house. Witnesses today telling us that they saw the 4 boys walking up and down the same road, one of them carrying a gun case. Detectives later found the boys and arrested them.
It's by her hair.
Don't know whether I want to scream or cry.
The surprising way her mother found out, the school's excuse for not telling her, and the reason those teachers are not facing any charges.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Wendy Ryan.
And I'm Jamison Euler. That Hernando County mother is now demanding answers.
And all new at 6, ABC Action News reporter Eric Waxler telling us she didn't know about this incident until DCF came knocking on her door.
The school year is just about over, but what happened here at Moton Elementary School has one parent so upset she's ready to pull her child out as soon as possible.
I mean, I don't see why anybody would want to harm a child, especially my daughter. She's very sweet and loving.
Vanessa Mockdone knows her daughter Isabella is hyper and difficult to handle sometimes, but she says that's no reason teachers should have treated the 6-year-old with Down syndrome the way they allegedly did. Other teachers at Moton Elementary reported seeing Isabella's teacher and an aide pull the child across the classroom by her hair in 2 different incidents last week.
It makes me upset. I don't know whether I want to scream or cry.
Vanessa, who works in law enforcement, says the school never told her about the hair pulling when it happened. Instead, she heard about it when the Department of Children and Families came to her door. She says the Hernando Sheriff's Office told her they had not filed charges against the teachers because Isabella is nonverbal and can't tell them what happened, and she doesn't have any bruises.
I'm just very frustrated with the whole situation, afraid that nothing good's going to come of it, that they're not going to get held accountable for what they did.
Vanessa says she was told the teachers involved are no longer in her daughter's class. Meanwhile, Isabella still seems happy and in the mood to play. She also
boy wanders away from a Brooksville elementary school and walks all the way down the road. Tonight, his family wants to know why the child is being suspended. Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Harris.
I'm Paul Legrone. That boy's uncle is talking tonight to ABC Action News, and reporter Wendy Lane spent the day getting answers from the school district about how this happened.
The family of a kindergartner says they're very upset that the 5-year-old was able to wander away from Moton Elementary on Tuesday morning, all the way down the driveway and then down this road before he was picked up near Highway 50 by law enforcement.
It's gross negligence on the part of the school.
Nick Schillinger is frustrated that his 5-year-old nephew was able to get away from Moton Elementary.
If it happened at a daycare workers would be arrested.
It's heartbreaking, and I still see his little blonde hair.
Christy Collinsworth and Allie Bedson were driving in separate directions when they saw the little boy running toward busy Highway 50, nearly a half mile from the school.
God put me in his path because that is not a normal time that I come down this road.
They both stopped and were able to catch him and called 911.
I sat down on the ground with him, and he was still very upset and distraught.
We went to Hernando County School District looking for answers as to how this could happen and why they didn't immediately call deputies. They would only give us a written statement saying staff was out looking for the child everywhere, but that, quote, while staff continued their search efforts, a motorist was first to locate the student and contacted Hernando County Sheriff's Office. But the people who stayed with him say they didn't see anyone looking for him.
But I am frustrated and upset with the time frame.
The uncle said he's frustrated by the punishment his nephew received and says that the school is not taking responsibility for what happened.
They suspended the child for 3 days. That, to me, just doesn't make sense. If that alone isn't trying to put the blame on the child rather than the school, I don't know what is.
In Hernando County, Wendy Lane, ABC Action News.
They're teachers, but now a Hernando County school has nearly all of those positions filled. All new at 6, ABC Action News reporter Wendy Lane shows us just how many former teachers are getting their jobs back.
Moton Elementary has been a failing school in Hernando County for years.
The rating of the school has been horrible since I went here.
Denitra Hicks was so fed up with the school.
It's been trouble after trouble.
She pulled her daughter out of class to homeschool her.
I blame the teachers and the administration at Moton Elementary.
Hicks attended Moton as a child. She says there are some good teachers here, but she felt something needed to change.
Absolutely, to get the bad ones out. I feel like they needed to pink slip them and close the school.
But Vince Laboranti, president of the Hernando Classroom Teachers Association, says the way the school district pink slipped all of those teachers broke their contracts.
Not a good move.
The Teachers Association filed a grievance with the school district and came to an agreement.
And we also basically proposed some resolutions as to how we could fix the problem.
The tenured teachers who were to be reassigned to a school now have choices between schools in the district. 14 of the pink slip teachers have been rehired at Moton. 11 will come from other schools in the district, while another 11 will be new to Hernando County. The district says they hope to have the other 11 positions filled this month. So are you going to bring your daughter back here next year?
Once I find out where the teachers are coming from and do background checks, yes.
In Hernando County, Wendy Lane, ABC Action News.